Hey, hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Were you a picky eater when you were my age?
Was that what?
Were you a picky eater when you were my age?
Yeah, I was a real picky eater, but I was picky about weird things. Like I didn't like soup because I didn't think that soup was a meal, and so when my mom would make soup, I used to get mad because I wanted to eat meat and potatoes and be able to mix my vegetables in so I knew right where my vegetables were. I felt like with soup she was trying to sneak vegetables in on me when I couldn't see them, that I wasn't getting a real meal on a plate. And like when I was little, I didn't really like tomatoes too much.
I hate tomatoes.
But I loved spinach.
Me too.
Yeah, and but that was about it. I never liked cottage cheese. I still don't like cottage cheese very much. I can't quite figure it out. It just looks sort of messy.
I have no idea what cottage cheese is.
You will one day. What else do you not like? Are you a picky eater?
I really don't like squash, zucchini, and tomatoes. That's really all.
Now, squash and zucchini don't taste like much. Do you just not like the way they feel in your mouth, or they feel kind of strange?
I just don't like the way they taste.
Oh, okay.
Not enough flavor, you think?
But what you know what'll be interesting you'll find is that all that changes as you get older.
I know.
Yeah.
And sometimes once I eat it like a lot, but I still don't like it, if I eat it a lot and I keep on trying it, then I just get used to the taste and I start liking it.
Yeah. Do you like pickles?
Yeah.
A lot? Or do you like all kinds of pickles or just like sweet pickles?
I do. I don't really like sweet pickles.
You don't like sweet
I
pickles?
just like,
Dill pickles. Is
yeah,
what you're
dill
trying to say.
pickles.
Yeah, tell him how you feel about a cucumber.
I love cucumbers.
I do too.
I always get extra cucumbers on my salad.
Yeah? Excellent.
What do you and Sadie eat after school for a snack?
Cucumbers.
Are there elbows thrown over cucumber slices sometimes?
Sometimes, if there's an odd number of cucumber slices, we fight over the last one. And we
You and
have
your
to
big
do-
sister, or you and your little sister, or all three of y'all?
Usually it's little sister because, like, a few months ago, Aubrey just then tried one, and she tried about 3 of them, and she liked them, especially with salt on it.
Mm-hmm.
But Aubrey's a little bit pickier, huh?
She is really picky about some stuff, but she loves chicken noodle soup out of the can. Sometimes she eats it raw.
Chicken noodle soup raw. What about cream of chicken? Because that's real. It looks like jelly when it comes out of the can. No.
No.
Well, that's okay. I mean, chicken noodle soup, but you can kind of understand that because it's all already finished. All you're doing is just warming it up. It doesn't really change a whole lot.
I know.
You want to ask one of your next questions?
What's your next question?
What is your favorite food and dessert?
What's my favorite food in the world?
Favorite food and dessert.
Oh, my favorite food and dessert. Let's see. I really like hot dogs a lot. And I love fried chicken.
And dessert?
Well, I like anything chocolate.
I like anything caramel.
Yeah?
I love caramel.
I like chocolate and caramel together. And then caramel with, you ever had caramel with salt on it?
Mm-hmm.
We have a treat for you then.
But I love caramel apples.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's some eating too. You can spend some time on a caramel apple.
Yeah, you got to be devoted.
Yeah?
But I especially love red apple.
Yeah. Is there a particular kind of red apple that you like?
I like big red apples.
Right.
We
But-
usually buy the gala apples. Is what you
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
But sometimes I like to eat the little ones for snack at school because once you get in like first grade and all the rest of the grades, you have to bring your snack instead of they buy snack for you.
You want to tell him
So-
about when you stole all my Honeycrisp apples? When were you? Was that kindergarten or first grade?
First grade, no wait, kindergarten.
You fell on it?
No, she stole them.
Oh.
You know, we
See,
love
that's-
some Honeycrisp
Yeah,
apples.
that's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. She likes them too. And I was so proud because everybody was eating all the apples. And they were going so fast. And then where did I find them, Emma? Do you remember? In your backpack? tell him what you were doing with them. At $1.97 a pound.
God,
You were taking them to who?
my teacher.
Yeah. Every day. She was taking a Honeycrisp apple for her and one for her teacher.
And
Yeah.
where were they coming from?
From the fruit bowl, huh? And I just
see.
thought everybody was eating apples. And then her backpack got a little heavy one day, and I thought, what is that? It was all the apples.
You were bringing your teacher an apple?
Yeah, she was sharing.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
I love Honeycrisp apples.
I do too.
Okay, what's your next question?
The next question: when did you know you wanted to be a chef?
Wow. That's a good question. I'm still not sure I want to be a chef. Pretty much the first day that I went to work in a restaurant kitchen, I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. It was fun, and I got to play with knives, and I got to play with fire.
And it's like,
And
check.
Everything happened in a hurry. And the nicest thing about it was that you could make something and put it on a plate, and a waiter would bring it out to the table, and you could watch the person eat a bite of it, and you knew immediately. You didn't have to wait for a second. You knew immediately whether they were happy or not, just by the look on their face. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make people happy.
That's what I want to do when I grow up because I want to make people happy when I cook stuff for them.
That's right. And and that's where you have a jump on most everybody, because most folks don't understand that at first. And that's what it's really all about, is making folks happy.
What was your next question?
And how did you learn to be a chef?
Wow, that was a lot of hard work. I started my first cooking job when I graduated from high school. I went to work on a tugboat in the Gulf of Mexico.
Whoa.
Do you know where the Gulf of Mexico is?
That's where we go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they have oil rigs out there. And so the summer after I graduated from high school, I went to work on a tugboat, working around the oil rigs. And because you're out in the middle of the ocean, you're gone, and you can't just come home and eat every day. So there has to be somebody to cook for all the guys on the boat. And nobody wanted to do it. And since I was the newest guy on the boat, they made me be the cook. And I didn't know anything about cooking other than what I'd learned at home around my family's kitchen, and going to fishing camp and going to hunting camp and watching the men cook, and watching my dad run the charcoal grill outside and make hamburgers and steaks when I was little. And so I had to start from scratch, and I just had a book called The Joy of Cooking. And the captain of the boat would order groceries, and they'd come in, and I just made whatever came in the grocery bag. If there was chicken, I'd make baked chicken or smothered chicken, chicken spaghetti, or whatever I felt like I was interested in cooking that day. And that's how I started. And then I went to work in restaurants after that.
So first you started off on a boat, but first you didn't know you didn't know how to cook. You just did whatever was in the groceries.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I sure did. If ground beef came in, I knew that you made meatloaf out of ground beef, and so I'd go to that cookbook. And this is a wonderful cookbook. And we should get you a copy of it, because it is one that you keep with you for the rest of your life, because it's got a recipe for everything in it, and a real simple recipe. They don't have 20 or 30 ingredients. If you want to make meatloaf out of ground beef, out of hamburger meat, it has 5 or 6 things that you put together, and you mix them up, and you put them in the oven, and it makes a good meatloaf. And it gives you a basic recipe for just about anything in the world you could want to make.
So clearly, like anything like sweet potatoes and like baked chicken, spaghetti.
Yeah, I have one from my great grandmother, and it even has how to cook a possum in it. It's true. We don't have to cook possum today.
She tried though.
Maybe we'll make that on another trip.
Yeah, but not today.
Not in Greenwood. In Greenwood, there's some coon and some possum cooked down in Greenwood every once in a while.
We have a few raccoons that make regular appearances in our yard.
Strange things in the grocery store over here.
What's your next question?
What is a James Beard Award?
Oh boy. Well, we in our industry, we have awards every year for restaurants and chefs, and they're called the James Beard Awards. And James Beard was a man who died in about 1989 or 1987, one of those. And he's a man who most folks look to as the most important chef in all of American food. He was the man who really sort of wrote the earliest and most important cookbooks that brought attention to chefs and food in the United States. And so when he passed away, a group of very well-known chefs and cookbook writers who thought that he was influential decided to set up a foundation in his name so that folks would remember him. And they took his house where he lived in New York, and they turned it into a restaurant. And they started inviting chefs from all over the country to come and cook at his house. And then anybody could make a reservation and go there and eat on any given night. And so it was like a restaurant that had a different well-known chef that would cook at it every night. And so you could buy a ticket and go on any night to eat. And it became very well known, and the foundation grew, and they very quickly decided that there was nothing in the United States that gave credit to or gave awards to people that were in our profession. And so, like the Academy Awards, you know what the Academy Awards are for movies?
Like the Oscars.
They have the Oscars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They decided to set up an award ceremony like the Oscars, except it would only be for cooking. For people who cooked in restaurants, for people who made wine, for people who designed restaurant spaces. So they did the interior design, for people who wrote cookbooks, anything that had to do with the food industry. And so they started giving these awards out, and they've become the highest honor that you can get in our industry every year. And so those are coming up in about 4 or 5 weeks in New York City.